Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. This is dope.
Thank you, man.
Of course, it's been great looking at your. It's been really cool looking at your studio. It's actually really cool.
Yeah, man. We've been here for a year now in Northfield, Ohio. We started the studio in 2013 in the Steel Yard. I actually got the keys in December of 2012 and then opened the doors in January of 2013. January 8th to be exact. So the 13-year anniversary is coming up pretty soon.
That's awesome. Well, congrats on the studio and all
Thanks,
the hard
man.
work.
Thank you.
So, at what point in your life did you decide, wow, music is what I want to do? And how has that affected you going forward?
I don't know. Well, it's affected me by being completely addicted to music, but
Yeah.
I think the first time I actually got into serious music was whenever I started my first band. So, I guess a little background story. I started playing guitar. Guitar was my first instrument. And I bought my first guitar off my neighbor for $100. And it came with a little practice amp, a shitty cable, strap, and a old guitar. And I practiced on that. And I didn't learn anything. I got into guitar lessons, and they would teach me stuff like Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And I didn't get into it, so I fell out of it.
Hot cross
I
buns.
fell out of it because it just wasn't interesting to me. And I ran into a couple of friends that they also started playing music. So then I picked my guitar back up. I mean, my guitar just sat in the corner for 2 years before I even actually picked it up and took it seriously. Started learning fretboard scales, and then the math started mathing a little bit. I was actually able to make riffs in a fretboard scale without just because I didn't have any knowledge,
Yeah.
Once I was able to do that, then it started to really hit for me. I was probably 16 years old, 16 or 17 years
16?
old. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's where it was kind of where it was for me. Sophomore year, it was what do I want to do after high school? And I was just sitting in bed and I was like, this is music. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, music's good, man. I mean, it's kept me safe. It's kept me sane.
Yeah. What other instruments besides guitar do you play?
I play
any-
drums. I play piano a little bit. I wish I was a little bit better at piano, but like I was saying earlier, guitar is my first instrument, but so I'm a guitarist at heart, but I think I am a better drummer at. I don't know how that worked out, because I actually took guitar lessons, never took a drum lesson in my life, but I was able to just pick it up really easily. So drums, guitar are my primary instruments. I play guitar in one band and drums in another band. But I could pick up instruments and figure it out. I've never picked up a horn instrument, but I'm pretty confident that I'd be able to play some saxophone or something,
A little bit the trombone part, like a little piece of
maybe.
heaven.
I've never done it, but I think I could. Yeah.
How hard was it to learn drums?
It wasn't hard for me. I mean, I was just able to feed off the other drummers that I worked with. I was able to watch them, and I guess, the hardest part is using all four limbs at the same time.
Yeah.
And they each have to have their own brain, essentially, so
Yeah.
that's the hardest part. Once you're able to do that,
If you think it's hard using all four limbs, think of the drummer for Def Leppard using one arm.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
So you talked a little bit about bands. How many bands have you been in?
Oh man, I don't know, dude. A lot of metal bands that I played guitar in. Only a couple of bands that I've played drums in, because like I said, I'm a guitarist at heart. But I don't know, dude. I couldn't answer that probably. 20?
20?
Let's just say 20. Yeah.
Just go with 20?
Yeah, let's just go with 20.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. I really don't know though.
Yeah. So a couple weeks ago, unfortunately, was your departure from the band Bittersweet Revenge. How was going on stage, even the festivals you've been to, opening for bands like Psycho Stick and Mushroom Head? How has that experience been?
It was great, man. We had a great time, and Bittersweet Revenge is still kicking. They're still going.
Yeah.
I've just separated myself from it so I could just kind of essentially put all my eggs into one basket here at the studio, because I know it's working, and it's working really well.
Yeah.
I love the band lifestyle. I love playing shows. We did some really cool stuff. They're doing cool stuff still, Incarceration, we played Incarceration in 2023 and in 2025. They're looking to play Sonic Temple, I think, is what the next festival they're getting on. Mushroom Head invites us every year to their Halloween shows, plus more shows throughout the year, but it's always the Halloween shows. Man, it's just a really good time, man, but in my opinion, the way my music career pursued was I was able to make it work in the studio. And the bands just don't really make a lot of money now. And not that it's about the money, but you got to keep the lights on, right? You got to pay the bills.
Yeah.
So,
You gotta.
yeah.
Human needs.
Human needs. Yep.
So would you say your studio is your biggest accomplishment in music, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah? Absolutely, yeah, because it allowed me to take my music hobby into a music career.
Yeah.
And now my business partner just got married and bought a house off Signal Flow money. It worked.
It worked.
It
So
works.
it's working really well.
It's working pretty good. So yes, absolutely, Signal Flow is my biggest accomplishment. I'm very proud of the studio. I'm very proud that we're here at a new location now, and it's still going. I was just talking to someone the other day about, excuse me, in Northfield. We've been here for a year, and we've been kicking, but we haven't really been able to save a lot of money. From Steelyard, our expenses was a third of what it is now, because we were just in a complex building with other bands, so we didn't have to pay the electrical bill or the water bill. We just paid rent. Now here, owning our own location, we have to pay dumpster and water and sewage and everything, so expenses tripled. So that being said, we haven't really been able to save a lot of money. A friend explained to me the other day that just staying here for a year and staying afloat is hard within itself. So with even that, I'm proud. Yeah. And so that, with me leaving Bittersweet and Iron Bison, just putting all my eggs in one basket, hopefully that's going to change. But yeah.
Yeah, later down the line, do you plan to open other studios in different locations along with this one?
Yeah. I think the only thing that would allow me to do that is to expand the team. I would need more reliable engineers to be able to hold down the fort if I'm not there. It's easier for me to do that here because me and my business partner are here frequently. With the other engineers, they have our support. If they have a question, they could just come over to Studio A while they're in Studio B and they just ask,
Yeah.
With over a whole nother location, it's a lot of phone calls. Hey, Jake, how do I do, and...
Yeah.
So as long as I have good, educated, reliable engineers that already have a client list already made, because that's also another hard part, dude, is building a client list. That's probably the hardest part is being an engineer. Learning it, going to school, YouTube University. I didn't even go to school. I went to YouTube University to learn how to run the software that I use and learn how to use the plugins that I use. But the hardest part is getting the client list to believe in you that you can provide the best quality that they can't find in another engineer.
Yeah. So music's done a lot for you.
It's done a lot. Yeah.
Awesome. Kept you afloat. Kept you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So people usually say it's harder to make it in the music industry, and clearly you seem to be doing really well. Do you really think it's as hard as people say it is?
It's very hard. It depends on what your standards are, right? Because you could get signed to Sony Records and get a $3 million contract and still have expenses. I don't know. What are your standards of making it? You have to ask yourself that. In my opinion, yeah, I think I'm very successful and I made it. I'm not able to because right now I'm welding still.
Yeah.
I weld full time, and welding is good money as well. And then I come here at night and on the weekends, and I'm engineering and producing, and that's doing really well. But I guess in my standard of making it big time would be for it to allow me to quit welding. If I could quit welding and just do this full time, then I guess that would be, I made it.
So that's the dream?
That's the dream. I think that's the dream, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing. That's actually great to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
So back to your bands. I know you're talking how you write riffs, write guitar music, notation, tab, all that. Do you compose, write anything else?
No. Are you talking about writing it on paper?
When it comes to other instruments, do you write it all for those? For drums, do you write your own music as well?
Oh yeah. Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, as far as writing in my bands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I write my own stuff, yeah.
Awesome.
We don't do any covers or anything like that. We we get inspired by other people,
yeah.
Right? So but you take your favorite drummers and you just write your own stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Awesome. I will say I did the cover of Gloomy Sunday. I really enjoyed that.
I guess we do covers. Yeah, I guess we do covers. But yeah, that's pretty rare though. We do. Yeah, that was I forgot we did that. But yeah, that's a really interesting cover. The background story of Gloomy Sunday with Billie Holiday. If you ever get a chance, look up the background story. It's I'm probably gonna butcher this, but it's along the terms of it's it holds some sort of record. I don't think you're gonna find it in the record books, but it's the song that people would play whenever they would commit suicide a lot in the Depression days, right? And it's just a very depressing song. Actually, for about 20 to 30 years, the BBC took it off their radio because it was so depressing. They say that it's cursed.
Yeah,
That
I
the
was
song
looking
is
to see that.
cursed.
I was doing
Yeah.
some research on it. There's a giant curse behind the
It's
song.
it's a cursed song. Yeah, and we covered it. So
Yeah. Well, it was a really good cover.
yeah,
I really liked it.
thank you. It was fun to do that one.
Yeah. What is the best piece of music that you're most proud of putting out?
I don't know. That always changes.
Yeah.
That always changes because I could be very proud of a piece of work, and I could be very proud for a long time, and then something comes up accidentally, even where I just make something and I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever made.
Yeah.
And then I'll sit on that for a while and be very proud, and then something else will come. I mean, there's always growth, but I think the best piece of art, not even musically, that we did, and this is in Bittersweet Revenge, we did, the whole concept of it is really cool. We did like an album, but the entire album was broke down into 4 pieces. 4 EPs of 5 songs. And you put all 4 EPs together and it makes one album for 20 songs. And we even did it so like the cover art of all 4 EPs, if you put them together, it makes one big poster, one big cover art. And it's just the whole scheme and concept of that. Not even musically, just the whole concept of that album.
That is a really cool concept.
Broken down. And the idea behind that was to be more relevant all the time. Instead of waiting to write a 20-song album and it take 12 to 18 months to write and record it, we did it 5 songs at a time. So we could release more songs often. Every 3 to 6 months, we're releasing a 5-song EP. Just so we could release more. So we could stay in people's face so no one forgot about us.
Yeah.
And it worked.
And I do got to give you applaud for the 20 songs on album. Usually with more recent albums,
Well, the only reason it's 20 songs is because it was broken down to 4 different EPs.
Yeah.
I don't think if it was one disc, we probably wouldn't have done 20 songs.
Well, I still got to give you applaud for it
Thank you.
because you don't see that many songs on even an album
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even an EP. that
Nowadays you don't.
much. Yeah, it's usually like 2-3 songs on an EP and the album ends at like 10-12 songs.
Yeah.
So I got to give you applaud where it's due.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
How many albums have you put out with Bittersweet?
It was Untrustworthy, which was their first album, and I went into the band right after that released. That's their first album, and then Break 'Em was the second album. Right after Break 'Em was whenever Mark Corkless, our original lead vocalist, he died in a motorcycle accident in 2020. And we took a lot of steps back and had to like basically rebuild the band. We even considered if we wanted to keep going, and we voted on it, brought some new people in, and then that's whenever we did that 4-part 5-song EP.
Yeah.
So if you want to count that as one album, all 4 of those EPs as one album, so that's 3 albums. And so that's the only 3 albums that we came out with Bittersweet, but it's 6 different releases because it's the one album is 4 EPs. So yeah, it's 3 albums, and Bittersweet I don't think is doing any more albums right now. I think they've come up with just wanting to release singles. Yeah. And then Bison is getting ready to Iron Bison is coming out with an album pretty soon. So that would be 5 albums between just the 2 bands. And then other albums that I've been maybe helped bands write. I don't know, it's a lot of albums. But I guess just those albums I've just like been 100% involved with and released with those bands. So 5 albums.
Yeah. Would you consider releasing your own, like, even if it's just instrumentals, like your own solo work?
I'm kind of doing something like that now. Primarily at Signal Flow, we record a lot of hip hop.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a project right now, kind of on some like DJ Khaled stuff, where I'm producing all the music, and then I am working with all of my client list. Like I'm taking my client list, my artists that I work with, and I'm putting 2 artists together that probably would have never thought to work with each other, but I think they would do great with each other. So and I would know that because I work with so-and-so and I work with so-and-so, but they don't even know each other.
So kind of like inspiring features.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. And I'm just producing the whole thing. And I'm going to release it. That's probably going to come out in 2026. That would be my first solo project. But it's not even solo, is it? Because I'm involving everyone else. But
yeah,
it's under me, though. You know what I mean? I'm doing the whole thing.
You get some credit.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider, like, Signal Flow is, like, booming. Would you ever reconsider, like, making another band or rejoining a band?
I like to think myself as I'm a gun for hire now. So, like, if you need someone, yeah, I'll learn your music and I'll come play a show. But I don't think, at least for right now, man, it's way too early. I mean, I just left
Yeah.
Bittersweet in October, and
Like,
it's
say it's
November.
like 5, 10 years later down the road.
Maybe. It depends on where I'm at, though, and it depends on how good the studio did.
Yeah.
You know, I don't see it happening, but I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening, man. I think I'm good where I'm at, and I think it's gonna be fun to be a gun for hire. You need
Yeah.
someone, man? Just call me, and I'll learn the music. I'll come play a show with you.
Go to so many different venues.
Yeah, and play different music. You're not obligated to one band's band practice.
Yeah.
You go to other bands'
Even
band
if you're
practices.
already in a band, if you want to step in for another one because they're missing a member,
Exactly.
go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
As long as you enjoy what you're doing.
exactly. As long as you enjoy what you're doing, that's the key.
That's the whole thing about music. You can't like or do music as a career or hobby if you don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
That's insufferable in many ways.
Yeah.
Including having to practice.
I agree. Dude, even practicing, speaking of practicing, was so therapeutic whenever I was learning guitar at first. Because you would just get so locked in, you learn something new. And then you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe I, and then you put it, you make something out of it. Like maybe like, for example, the fretboard scales I was talking about earlier. You learn a fretboard scale and it's just unlocking a door. And then that unlocked door, whenever you walk through it and you're able to use that skill that you just learned, is just so therapeutic and it feels so good and it's so accomplishing, you know?
It's kind of like the definition of practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect, dude. And once you get to, and you're never perfect,
Yeah.
but yeah.
There's always improvement to be made.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can never get too perfect at an instrument, whether it's slowing down or speeding up a tempo.
Yeah.
Or who knows, doing a wild Dave Mustaine riff.
Who knows? Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
What is like your favorite thing that music has, other than the studio, outside of the studio, outside of the money? What is the best thing that music has done? Like, if you had to put words into it, like, how would you say you feel about music as a whole? It could be any genre, any kind of studio.
What has it done for me? Like music in general?
Yeah.
It helped me have an escape for anything else that I was dealing in any other aspect in my life. You know, if I was going through issues with relationships, or
Yeah.
maybe I had bad grades in school,
Yeah.
or maybe I had a bad day at work, or my car broke down, you know, music, you are able to just escape the world. Even if you are in your bedroom and you pick up your guitar, you know, you really literally do escape the world whenever you start playing music and you start writing music. Specifically, I think writing music. Like, you can learn other people's music, but when writing music, I think is the best juice that you could squeeze out of that lemon, right? Because, again, just therapeutic. You get things off your chest. It's like talking to a therapist without talking to a therapist.
Yeah.
In my opinion. That's how I treat it, at least. I think that's how a lot of other people treat it, too.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Music has been therapeutic in and like so many different ways.
Everyone needs therapy. And music could be your therapy.
Music, I think music is like a pretty good, like, oh, I can't think of the word now. Alternative. There we go.
Alternative. Yep. Very
Yeah.
good. Very good. Yep. Cool, man. How about you, dude?
What you want to know?
How did you get into music?
Well, I got into music originally. So I've been playing. Our school offered band the start of 6th grade, where I picked up the trumpet. They did like testing scores on it, where you would play or like blow through the instrument, see how well you did. And I actually did better for clarinet than I did on trumpet, but I didn't want to get called Squidward because I'm a sixth grader, and I'm like maybe 10, like anywhere between 10, 13 years old at this point. And so I didn't want to get called Squidward, so I picked up the worst possible instrument, the trumpet, which I got the worst score on. Which it was a hassle to say the least.
Yeah.
Especially for the band director. I'm so sorry.
That's good.
And then a year later in 7th grade, I was really fascinated with bass clef, lower instruments, and my end goal was to play tuba.
I find it fascinating that you found that fascinating. No one is attracted to the bass clef, but okay.
Yeah, I have a really funny story about that. And so I picked up the baritone, It's like a euphonium, 3-valve instead of 4. Doesn't make the best sound depending on higher or lower. It's not as melodic, harmonic. It's just not as good of an instrument.
Mm.
But I played that for a year, and it was like relearning an instrument all over again. I'm so sorry to my director for that year. Because 2 different directors, Miss Martin, Mr. Sterling. Mr. Sterling is the concert band for high school and 6th grade director. Miss Martin is 8th grade, and then we got Mr. Smith as high school symphonic winds and marching band director.
Yeah.
And so when I had Miss Martin, I feel so bad. I couldn't get rhythms, tempo, anything down for the longest time. And then on top of it, I had to. They pretty much said, if you're going to switch instruments, you got to take private lessons. So I did that. And little did I know, a year later, he's throwing me into solo and ensemble competitions. I was like, excuse me?
Competitions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was like, I'm never going to make you compete for it, but I am going to make you do a solo. You don't have to play for anyone but me, but it's to help you improve. I did all the competitions, and may I just toot my own horn a little bit. Out of a scale of 1 through 5, 1 being the best, 5 being the worst, unfortunately, I only got consistent 2s between all 5 years of competing, but I'll still take it.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great, yeah. And that's for tuba?
That was for euphonium.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or
okay.
baritone euphonium.
Okay.
And 8th grade, I wanted to switch to tuba. She
Yeah.
said no, you'd have to relearn the instrument again.
Yeah.
And she didn't want to deal with it again.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah, yeah.
I wasn't the best at starting out. But no one is.
Yeah.
No one is. But after a year, you should get a pretty good grasp, and I didn't.
Yeah.
So, and actually, the thing that drawn me to bass clef the most was when I first wanted my bass guitar. I sat heavily thinking about, do I want to pick up electric guitar, bass guitar, or who the hell knows, maybe a banjo. And so at this point, I'm starting to get into a lot of like rock, metal, Midwest emo, hard rock, emo rock, all that. And I was like, I want to play bass so I can learn Fall Out Boy songs.
There you go. Okay.
That was my only reason.
That weird, but okay.
Yeah. And I picked up the bass, and now I would say I'm not the best at it, but I'm proficient. I can learn music. I haven't started composing yet. I'm going to wait a little bit more into music theory to learn how to do that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Get into it, dude. Get into it.
Get
Earlier
into
the
it.
better. Earlier the better.
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it. I mean, you don't have to show anyone.
That's true. That's true. You don't got to show
You
anyone
don't have
or
to show
play for
anyone
anyone.
yet, you know?
Yet. And so now I'm playing songs that I really enjoy. One of my favorite songs to play on the bass right now is, well, it's Paranoid by Black Sabbath. Always a great. Although I like playing it down low, because he plays up the octave. Geezer.
Mm-hmm. You like the lower octave
I like
one?
the lower.
Yeah, I do too.
I love the
agree.
way lower octaves
Yeah,
sound.
you're playing a bass.
You're playing a bass.
You're playing
not
a bass,
treble.
dude. Yeah, get that higher octave out of here.
Yeah.
I'll take care of that as a guitarist.
Yeah. But another one I really like playing is I love to play Mud Shovel by Stained.
Nice, that's a good one.
That bass line is...
Oh man, I had my Stained phase for a while. Whenever they came, fun fact, whenever they came out with "Break the Cycle" is one of my favorite albums. But DJ, the drummer in Bittersweet Revenge, about last year, maybe 2 years ago, came across an awesome Orange County drum set. 2 black kick drums, 2 rack toms, 2 floor toms. I think that's all it came with. But we found out later that it was the drum kit that the drummer in Stained used to record that album, Break the Cycle.
Really?
Yes.
That
Yes,
is
it's the
awesome.
same
Oh
exact
my
kit.
God.
I forgot how we found that out, but there's even a certificate saying that it was the kit, and he ended up selling it, but he should have never sold it.
Dude.
It was such a cool kit to have.
Yeah.
And it sounded so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a little cool piece of history that we had in
It
the
is.
studio one time.
I will say I love Stained, but Aaron Lewis switching to country was...
I haven't heard it yet. I haven't even heard it. Aaron Lewis, he's pretty talented.
He's
I'm
really
sure he could
talented.
make good country. And you know what? Now that you say that, even with his Stained singing voice, you could hear some country twang in it.
Yeah.
You know?
Aaron Lewis is the only person who can play guitar, scream, sing, and smoke a cigarette at the exact same time.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah,
I
that
saw
guy.
him. They were opening for Breaking Benjamin earlier this year, and there he was doing all 4 of those things at the same time while he's saying it's been a while.
There you go. That's a piece of history right there. It's been a while with playing guitar and singing with a cigarette in his mouth. That's something you need to
Yeah.
absorb whenever you're there.
It's like his mic stand. It was like designed to have his mic stand. All right, he had the mic stand with the mic, obviously. He had a guitar on one side and something to hold a cigarette on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah, you've seen
So-
Eric Clapton. He'll have his guitar, and then he'll take a cigarette out of his mouth and put it in between
Yeah.
his string and the headstock. And he'll just be sitting there smoking, and he's sitting there doing his blues licks.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
We're-
I don't know how long you want to do this for.
I got one more question
Okay.
for you. One more. So obviously you've been in so many different bands. You know, you listen to a lot of music. Actually, it's a two-part question.
Okay.
What artist or band or solo artist was your biggest inspiration?
To play music? To,
Yeah.
like, start making music? I can't really name just one person or one band. I mean, it really is.
Throw some names out there.
Yeah, okay. So, growing up, my dad showed me Eddie Van Halen and Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my mom showed me AC/DC and Eric Clapton and people like that. And a lot of guitar-heavy bands. You know, a lot of those bands have famous guitar, Angus Young and Eddie Van Halen. And so that maybe...
Even Wolfgang, I'd say.
Yeah, maybe that, with that being said, I just magnetically got attracted to guitar and eventually just got interested in guitar. And then so that's whenever I started playing guitar. And then whenever I started hanging out with those friends that I mentioned earlier about, like, whenever they started playing music is the same time that I started playing music, we were all really big into a Mushroom Head phase. And Mushroom Head was really big for us at the time. Whenever they came out with the album Double X and the album 13, it was huge for us. It really impacted our group of friends. And
A little bit of a foreshadow, though.
even with that being said, in 2007, whenever Peabody's was still open, that same group of friends, whenever we started playing music, came out with our first 5 songs. We were able to fill a 30-minute set list, and we called Peabody's. Luckily for us, the singer in our band at the time, his name is Dylan King. He was part of the street team at Peabody's. I didn't know exactly what the street team did, but they would help sell tickets and pass out flyers before smartphones were out.
Yeah.
And so he had the in. You know, he could just call and be like, hey, could we get on the show? And they would allow us on the show because of Dylan. He worked at Peabody's. So we got on one of the Mushroom Head shows, the first show that I've ever played in 2007 in the Pirates Cove at Peabody's. It's the side stage. And so that was cool, being our first show was opening up for Mushroom Head, getting inspired by Mushroom Head to play our first show, but also being inspired by other bands to just make the music, because our music didn't sound like Mushroom Head.
Yeah.
But we got inspired by Mushroom Head because they were like the biggest band in Cleveland at the time, and we're
Yeah.
big into Cleveland. Cleveland's big for us, you know, support Cleveland, you know? So,
Yeah. At your show, I'd say a big inspiration that I heard in your voice is it sounded a lot like Acid Bath in a way.
okay.
So I'd say that was really cool. For anyone who wants to get into music, whether it's as a hobby or career, what inspiration or advice would you give them to, like, get started and how to keep the flow going?
Well, you have to be inspired on your own,
Yeah.
right? You can't force anyone to just pick up a guitar because they're not going to get into it, man. You have to be already in love with music.
Yeah.
Growing up with the right music, growing up with the right person showing you, whether it's your dad or your mom or your older brother, having the right person guide you to the right bands. Not saying that there's bands out there that won't inspire you to make music, but bands like AC/DC and Eddie Van Halen with awesome guitarists, or bands like Rush with an awesome drummer to inspire you to be like, I want to drum like him, or I want to play guitar like him. That's what's going to help you get into music, and then from there is where you decide who is my favorite guitarist, and or do I have a favorite drummer, and then you kind of pick what instrument you're going to play. I don't know. Everyone's probably going to be a little bit different, right? But
Yeah.
to get inspired to want to play music, I think is just going to be different
Like
for
a
everyone.
personal issue, like a
Yeah,
personal matter.
yeah. It's really a personal thing. Where you grew up, how you grew up, who are the people around you, what
Yeah.
bands are you listening to, you know?
So what kind of, like, advice would you, like, in the end, what kind of advice would you give for people who are already into music to like move forward, turn it into either a hobby or even a career like you have?
I would say just lock in, man. Do your best to just lock in. I mean, that's the best answer that you could get. I could give you some crazy answer, but the best way you could grow is to lock in. I
Yeah.
mean, practice at least 20 minutes a day, whether you know if you're playing an instrument or if you want to be a producer or engineer. You know, for a long time, whenever I was learning how to do this,
Yeah.
I went to YouTube University. I would just be well, the cool thing about YouTube is that you could be as specific as you want and learn whatever you want. I want to learn how to EQ on the Pro Q3, whatever, on Logic Pro X. You could be as specific as you want on YouTube, and you can go back and watch that same video 3 times, and you could pause it, you know? So, like, with that, just knowing what you want to do next and pursuing how to do it the best way, whether you're being an engineer and going on YouTube University, or you're playing guitar and practicing 20 minutes a day, or drumming, playing 20 minutes a day, getting a practice pad so you can eat
Yeah.
dinner and practice at the same time, you know? Those kind of moves is what's going to help you stay inspired, stay motivated, stay driven, and stay locked in, you know?
Yeah.
And the better you get, the more locked in you're going to get, because you're going to start seeing the progression.
Yeah.
Or other people around you is going to start seeing the progression.
You might not see it, but people around
Exactly.
you definitely will.
Yeah. And then hearing people say, "Wow, you've gotten really good," it's just gonna you're gonna get locked in.
It's gonna give you an ego boost.
If you're into it, you're gonna get into it. You shouldn't need much advice to get locked in if you like music. I don't think
Yeah.
anyone can advise you on that.
I
You
agree
know what I
with
mean?
that.
Yeah. It's gonna happen. It's just gonna happen. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. You know, I know how stupid that sounds, but that's the answer.
I think that's a really good way to actually put it, and I think that's the best way you can put it. Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah, thanks.
I think,
I tried.
I think that's a really like safe way to go about it. Safe way to actually stay stay in music, stay like that. And you mentioned practicing, like you gotta practice. You
Gotta
can't-
practice, dude.
You can't get
You gotta practice.
You can't get through music
People
without
are gonna pass
practicing.
you. That rival band that's playing, they're gonna pass you. They're gonna pass. They're gonna release their album before you release their album. Not that it's a competition out here, but it's kind of a competition out here.
To an extent,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
To an extent, it's a competition. Like, I'm trying to think of a good analogy now, but I can't think of
Well,
it.
it just maybe even going back to why we did our 4-part EP series. It's just to stay relevant, so no one forgets about you.
Stay
You're out
different.
here being active. You're going to events. You're releasing
Being unique.
music. You're playing shows. You're just being active. You're not allowing anyone to forget about you. While Joe Schmo's over here just being in his basement, still practicing, trying to get shows, and he's taking too long because maybe he's focused too much on his artwork. You know, because there's artists out there that will, the perfectionist, quote unquote perfectionist, that won't release their music because they don't think it's done. That's going to slow you down.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I don't know why, but that made me think of Nirvana, because when Dave Grohl, before he made Foo Fighters and became the guitarist and the singer, he talked about how even though he liked playing drums, he wasn't super original with it. He didn't.
You seen that interview with Pharrell Williams?
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that interview. Yes, that's
He
a
was
good one.
like- Yeah,
Yeah.
It smells like Teen Spirit. He's like, the beginning of that, that's not mine.
Yeah.
It's all disco.
It's just biting off of disco. Right,
Yeah.
right. But that's how you do it, man. Disco bit that off of somebody else probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's just how it works. It's just how music
And also,
grows
if
within
it helps you
itself.
practice and helps you get better,
Yeah, of course.
there's nothing wrong with
Yeah.
it.
Hey, no one was able to pick that up until Dave Grohl himself admitted that.
Yeah.
No one was able to pick that up. So there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that. He's not biting anyone. He's not copying anyone. He took something. He took a style, or he took like a groove, and he made it his own, unrecognizable. But it still was a root off of disco.
Unrecognizable, and you can tell the hard work he put into it. It actually paid off with how
Yeah.
big the song is and
Absolutely.
how successful it
Yeah.
made Nirvana.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was when you were talking about like practicing and like artwork, making it trying to unique, even if it's a little bit like similar to someone else's. That's what that immediately made me think of.
Yeah. It works, man.
It does. Well, thank you for your time.
Of course.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
It's always cool to like go back and just think about stuff that happened 5 years ago, or whenever I first opened the studio, and just talk about
Yeah.
it again. You know,
Yeah.
it makes you feel good.
A
Makes
trip
me
down
feel
memory
good.
lane.
Yeah, a little trip. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, man.
No, thank you. You were a great person to talk to, and I'm glad I chose to do this with you.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Awesome.
That makes me happy.
Yeah. Awesome. Well,
Cool.
thank you.
Yep.